Hi, so I'll be teaching you how to take measurements for suits, and you can see below these are the following parameters we'll be using. Let me adjust my camera so you can see what we are doing. So first, as you can see, we'll be measuring the shoulder. Okay, take a look at it. That's the shoulder. After which we measure the chest, we measure the neck, we measure the length for the suit, we measure the sleeve length. Okay, that is sleeve L, that is sleeve length. Then we measure the half length. We measure also the tummy, the bicep, some people call it muscle, and finally the elbow. Okay, these are the parameters we'll be using. Now, and I'll be measuring this, my friend Nasai. Nasai, please, you can say hi to them. So let's get started. First of all, this is how you place your tape. Make sure you place it correctly like this. Okay, you write it down. According to this measurement, now we have 17, and I've written it down. Then you come to your chest measurement. You look at how I'm placing the tape is a bit tight. Then from there, you add up 4 inches. That is, after measuring it so tight, you add up 4 inches. Here we have 35, then you add 4 inches to make it 39 inches. Okay? This is how I normally measure it. It depends on how tight or how free you want it to be. So you measure it 39 inches. Thereafter, we have to measure the round neck, that is the neck circumference. You measure it placing one of your fingers into the tape like this. Okay, make sure it is not too tight and it is not too free. Okay, this is 16 inches and I'll write it down. Now we'll measure the length. Okay, the length of the suit. Now you take a look at how I'm going to do it. You measure it up, down to where you want the suit to stop. Okay, look at it. Okay, look at where it is. So this here we have 28 inches. It depends on how long or how short you want it to be. Okay, then you will now measure the half length. You ask your client to fold his hand like this. You still measure from the shoulder line down to where he's folding his arm. Okay? Take a look. So this is the half length or the tummy line. So from what we got here, we got 15 inches. Then you now measure the sleeve. And while measuring the sleeve, you have to measure from the shoulder point down to the elbow. Okay, that's the elbow measurement. Look at where it stops. Okay, then you ask him to straighten his hand, then you measure the complete sleeve length. So it's as though we are taking two measurements here. You measure the elbow, then from the elbow you now measure the sleeve length. You look at, if you want it to be a little bit up, you measure it up. You understand? So you now record it. So we have 23 here, 23 inches. Now look at the tummy. We're not taking the measurement for the tummy. Just like we did for the chest, you measure your tummy like this, make sure it is tight, then you add up 4 inches again. Okay, I've been using this method and it has always given me a very good result. Okay, but if you want it to be too tight, you might add just 3 inches. If you want it to be a bit free, you add more than 4 inches. Now you come and measure the bicep like this. The same method applies here. You make it tight, then you add up 4 inches as well. The same method. I've been using this method for years and it always gives me result. So you now measure the wrist, okay? Depend on how free you want it to be, but mostly it's around 10 inches. 10, sometimes 10.5, sometimes 11. But mostly it is 10 inches, okay? So you see, you now record it. Make sure you take your measurement accurately because it is from your measurement that you draft perfectly. and then from drafting you can now cut well, and at the end of the day you have a very good result. So thank you for watching this very video. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel